Hey guys, Infidel1258. I'm going to talk more about the new Soulbound reward cards. We've got screenshots. I want to deal with two more splinters today. Well, I guess we'll look at Earth and Life, and we'll address all the new Soulbound reward cards. I'm going to discuss any synergies I might be observing or recognize. This is my first look at these cards. I've not looked at them before or heard what other people have had to say about these things yet. And so I hope you'll stick around with me while we walk through it. Last video was about 40 minutes on the first blue and the water and fire splinters. So I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes to do this today. Before we do, my name is Dwayne Cunningham. I go by Infidel1258. You can call me 12. Drop your comments below, and if I create those into videos, then I will give you a free raffle ticket for a free plot of land in 2023. Let's get into it. So a special shout out to HL49 who provided this information to me. Yeah, we'll do Earth and we'll do Life today. Okay, guys? First, we'll start off with Earth. First, we've already seen the fungus flinger. We didn't know its name. We didn't see it at max level. 3 mana, 2 damage, 4 speed, 4 hit points. I love low mana monsters. And I find that the green team in particular is very uniquely positioned to do a successful low mana powerful team. I think this continues to help that story. So I like it a lot. Not only that, blind can be so powerful. I mean, the number of times I've lost a game because my opponent brought blind, and you feel it's only a 15% chance to miss, but that can surprisingly happen 3, 4, 5 times in a row, and you think, oh my goodness, I can't just land a shot. And if it happens once, sometimes it's enough for one blind that, to turn the tides, because something doesn't die in the first round. And then it transitions into, well, my guy died because that one lived. And then there wasn't any change in where the card composition of my opponent's team didn't move. And therefore that archery monster got one more shot or whatever. So, for the mana, I love this card. It's only a common. It's got a good amount of all of the stats are very substantial for 3 mana. But then you got the Martyr, which is going to buff all of the adjacent monsters. Potentially, it's going to buff 2 monsters when it goes down. And it has a low enough hit point pool that it could be the target of an opportunity attack. And that's actually potentially good. This might be a moment in a build where you contrive, instead of... Let me give you a concrete example. The Screeching Vulture is an opportunity monster that a lot of people use with a low mana green team. And then what it ends up doing is it stays alive in a second or third spot, is it goes ahead and it shoots down backline supporting monsters on your enemy. So maybe it's killing the brownie on the other side. Maybe it's killing, a wood nymph on the other side. Maybe it's killing a Venari Seedsmith on the other side. But what if this is your lowest hit point monster on your team and I bring a Screeching Vulture? Now you bring your Fungus Flinger, you're going to probably get one shot off in the first round. Maybe I kill you in the second round with my Screeching Vulture. But you position this in let's say the 5th spot of a 6-man team. And it's going to potentially then die and buff 2 of your monsters, giving them 1 more of every stat that they have. So I love this card. Like the blind, the martyr, the way it can be played, the 3 mana, the amount of stats available to you, the fact that it synergizes with the green team and it's already pre-existing low mana options. I love this card. And Snare, like I've said in a previous video, I think Snare is one that can become increasingly powerful, because we can see more and more flyers in the game, and therefore you have more and more opportunities to snare. So I love that card a lot. It's my favorite comment so far. Oh, is it that water one with the double strike might be? Yes, the water card with the double strike is better, but this is a very close second. I love this card. Tenacious Grunt. 6 mana. 4 melee, 3 speed, 12 hit points. Traditional tank vibes, right? Relatively decent attack, relatively slow-ish, not very high mana. It's got Void at least, which is one type of damage reduction. It also has the Archery Reflex, so It's not exactly poised to stay alive against archers, but it will throw a little damage back at them. It's got 12 hit points, which is not nothing. It's quite, it's on the higher side, let's say. But I don't love this card. I would rather have a Flesh Golem. I would rather have a Pellicore Mercenary. I would rather have a lot of other cards. Cube, Bakjira. Oh, okay. I guess I'm getting away from green. I'd rather have Cube. I'd rather have Almo Cambio. I'd rather have Lord A or Onyx Sentinel. I'd even rather have Failed Summoner. Again, it's not a bad card, but I don't love it. It is only 6 mana, so it's not bad, but I don't love it. Carrying on, Madcap Magus. We've seen this card, but we haven't seen it at max level. And as we can see, we got 2 damage output, 1 speed, 4 hit points, 4 mana. These are reasonable stats. I don't love it, but they're reasonable stats for the mana cost. Scattershot is annoying and can be super powerful, especially if your opponent is dropping taunts and you want to get around that. The life leech is always great, but you're just so slow. Unless it's the slow a rule set where slow monsters go first, I don't love this card. Affliction is great. Dispel is going to be very helpful. The Scattershot makes me really question this. The speed makes me really question this. I don't love this card. I'm a little bit I think this feels like a bit of a loser. And it's not, I'm being harsh with that word. I don't mean it's actually bad. I want it also. So it's not like I don't see utility here. I do. But when we put it up against some of the other things, even these two or the others from the fire or the blue that we've looked at so far, it's not as impressive. Looks like Lob Lowland, -1 speed, which is nice because there's a lot of plus speed out there these days. And again, the Gladiator. I like this one because there's just so much speed out there these days. Okay, Thane New Song. We talked about this one on a previous video about soul reward cards, and we were speculating that it was probably 3 or 4 mana. It looks like it's 4, 2 speed, 9 hit points. Again, what a buff monster! Inspire, strengthen, swiftness, tank heal. Whoa. Honestly, this is amazing considering that tank heal. And this buff, this is crazy actually. Okay. Now they have a weapons trainer? I hope, and I assume. Yes. I need to see how this fits, how this synergizes with Thane New Song. But I love New Song. New Song is better than Fungus Flinger. But again, Fungus Flinger is amazing too. These are 2 must-have cards so far. Now, let's carry on. Ava the Undaunted. I'm going to skip you and come back. She's the one with the weapons trainer. Terracious Hulk. I like the armor. The look. Looks like a beast. And he is a beast. 18 hit points. With shield? Are you kidding me? And demoralize? Reverse rule sets are going to love it. Melee from any position are going to love it. Now you do have taunt, so I guess melee from any position is going to get gobbled up in some sense. Oof. That's a nice new taunt. I like it. I like that it's physical in nature because we get a lot of... It just doesn't feel like there's a lot of shield monsters. I'm glad to see another one. And shield in combination with demoralize is such a nice combo because when you reduce their melee, you make shield even more powerful. And so I actually really like that sort of kit. Now the taunt is going to be a problem for you in some sense because unless it's a reverse rule set, because you're going to be so slow. Even though you have a huge hit point pool, you can get eaten, especially if there's magic. But in the right rule set, maybe melee only melee monsters. This card, I'd love this card. Now, let's circle back. And if you put this card with this card, you get one more speed, one more inspire, one more strength, and one more tank heal. Ooh. Okay, but put aside Thane, and then what? And then actually bring Tenacious Hulk and Thane and Ava the Undaunted, because she's got the archery, and they're all slow too, relatively, right? 2, 2, 2. So Ava's going to drop the 4 bomb with the archery, giving, I guess, 4 archery damage output to Thane also. Thane is supporting your Tenacious, so you probably put this one in the let's say you only brought those 3 monsters, you go tank, secondary, tertiary, because you want your Undaunted to support your or maybe you would, I don't know. I'd have to think about that more. I could see value to either way. But Ava the Undaunted, weapon trainer, throwing archery on this puppy. You got the shatter, which is great. You got the knockout, which can be absolutely devastating, with the oppress, by the way. So you bring a stunner, and there are stunners on the green team nowadays. There's the archery sneak attack stunner. There's a magic 4 mana. I forget what it's called. It's got like redemption on it. It's a stunner. So if you manage to stun, you're doing 8 damage with the shatter, by the way. So it could be, 7 cracking 7 armor plus doing the extra damage. And then you got the oppress, which would double it again theoretically if it was a monster such as Thane that has no intrinsic attack ability. So I like Ava a lot. I like actually this kit, this group of Soulbound rewards is my favorite so far. Blue has that double strike beast mode melee monster who I like probably singularly the most. Fire has the 1-2 punch that I probably like the most with the weapons trainer melee, and then the main tank with crazy speed and huge hit points. I forget what their names are now. So fire has the best tandem, water has the best solo, and earth has the best team of Soulbound reward cards in my opinion. Let's carry on. Let's look at our life. The first one is Imperial Knight, I think. Void armor, which is great because you got a huge pool of armor. Divine Shield, which is always amazing. Magic Reflect. You bring Wraith out to get your Amplify, and you're gonna be putting a lot of damage out on your magic. If you come at this thing with magic, you will regret it. Which is interesting because the Life Splinter is a little vulnerable to magic, apart from Wraith, which is the new kind of contribution that he's brought. They have been vulnerable to magic traditionally. And even now, if you're not using Wraith, they are vulnerable to magic. They have a lot of armor. They don't have a lot of void armor. They don't have a lot of void. They don't have a lot of silence. And so this one is like, well, you might think I'm going to play, a Sacred Unicorn. You might think I'm going to play, oh man, there's so many tanks that are not here. Silver Shield Knight. Silver Shield Paladin. There's Chaos Knight, Silver Shield Knight, Silver Shield Paladin, Jared Scar, right? There's just so many monsters that are susceptible to magic, but then this one just says like, nope, you are barking up the wrong tree because we're magic reflecting. We got the divine, we got the void armor. And yet it can slap too. 4 damage output and only 7 mana. So I like this card for common a lot. This strikes me as like fitting right in there with with a shield bearer type of utility, right? Shield bearer is amazing. You want to bring Grandmaster Wraith with the shield bearer to really maximize its usefulness. This seems to me to be like offering something like that for actually less mana, and you don't necessarily need the Wraith anymore. I really like this card. Drybone Barbarian, 6 damage, 4 speed, 12 hit points, 9 mana. Okay, interesting. I'm seeing vulnerability. I'm seeing amazing damage output potential. Force field is going to be your enemy. Retaliate is crazy in conjunction with Enrage, because what happens is the Enrage buffs your damage, buffs your speed when they end up hitting you, and they don't always because your speed goes crazy due to Enrage. But if they do, you get a 50-50 chance of Retaliate. And so the number of times Retaliate procs, if you don't go down quickly, or if they're bringing little kind of smaller attackers, 1-2 mana attackers, you will eat them because a 50-50 chance on Retaliate, and then you delete with the Enrage going 9, I think, right? 6 turns to, I think, 9 damage output. And by the way, if you're stunned, we're doing double that. So that's a cool card. I like these 2 commons better than I liked any of the other combined commons. Let's see if how I feel about the higher cards. War Pegasus. I didn't say, but obviously Drybone Barbarian is going to be super vulnerable to magic. Even archery. If you're landing shots, maybe you'll miss because I'm too fast. But it's good. This is a glass cannon also. Like I said about that, some other cards here today. In a different way, but it is. War Pegasus, Flight, Shatter, Demoralize, good amount of archery damage, good, excellent speed. War Pegasus, I love that name. And I love the leaning into the unicorns and, that sort of lore and background. I like that. 9 hit points. Now you don't have close range. So this feels weird. Of course, you could put it in and let it be a sneak attack defender. It's going to be quite evasive. It's going to be kicking out a good amount of damage. I don't know how often a card like that would find its way into my team, because if I'm putting an archer into the team, I want to bring something like this that's going to bring some buffs to the rest of the team. I want to bring something, even, I'd rather probably bring a baby unicorn for the, the buff and off tank options, as opposed to the damage output with, the shot. I mean, it's good. I like it. I don't know. It just feels weird. I don't like building my teams around archers because they don't have close range. Now, they can be quite devastating. This would be. But what happens if it makes it to the first spot? It's not going to fire. Bronze, interesting. More armor for the white team, right? It's another monster, another summoner that's adding armor to the white team. So that continues to be a theme for them. I like that, actually. Evelyn Alvera. Okay, so you got no attack, 2 speed, 8 shield, 6 hearts. Gonna go really well with Grandmaster Wraith. Then you add its own repair. You have immunity, which is amazing. You have Inspire, which is amazing. You have Thorns, which is amazing. Dude, this is a Wraith beast. And it is going to depend. It really is going to depend right now what we're going to see. I haven't seen it yet. But what do they have for their weapons trainer? If it's a melee weapons trainer with, let's say, reach, that's juicy. Let's see. Avis Sturgis. I like the old owl look. Okay. Magic, slower. That's your weapons trainer. You got camo over here. Interesting. And then you got rust. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. So that kind of works then. So you would put this in you'd put Evelyn in the first position. You'd put Avis in the second. She'd get the magic damage output, and and you'd play it with Wraith. So you're getting void armor, and you got tons of thorns, and you got the self repair. You got immunity and Inspire. So if you want to bring like a Silver Shield Assassin in the background to get the double strike with the Inspire, you're gonna enjoy that. Slow and slow. So it's probably preferable in a reverse rule set, and then maybe you don't want to bring like a Silver Shield Assassin in that context because you're going reverse slow guys, and then you bring out some fast. You could go lean into your magic though and go slow magic with irradiated Bila, right? Bila, the Radiant. So that's interesting. And I always love these camo monsters can be so juicy. And then if there was magic reflect happening, because you conceivably your opponent could drop magic reflect. Well, you're gonna have 1 armor from your Grandmaster Wraith, and then it's gonna be void armor, so that's probably gonna help. Plus the repair might help sustain you too. We'd have to see, but interesting. This would work. This one isn't as powerful as the 1-2 punches of any of the other ones, in my opinion. Definitely not fire. Definitely not earth. But I like this. I like the magic play here. Okay, and lastly, is Iziar. Okay, 11. So you're going to be giant killed. It's got some sort of like Egyptian god type vibe. 14 hit points, 3 damage output, 3 speed. It's got the void, it's got the martyr, it's got the magic reflect, it's got the taunt. Ooh, this thing's going to get gobbled up when you bring taunt. Sorry, when you bring fury. It's too slow. It doesn't have any real, damage reduction. Yes, the void is there, but it doesn't even have 1 armor. Yeah, you can add 1 armor with either Franz or maybe you use Grandmaster Wraith to bring armor. But, I mean, having 1 more taunt is great for them. They need that. I feel like this is maybe a bit of a miss. At least it would be one that I don't desperately want. Whereas I would say I would really strongly want Evelyn, and I would really strongly want Imperial Knight. So that's a bit weird. It feels like it's almost as if, yeah. And I like the others. I do. I liked all the others. But those are the 2 strongest from the Life team, in my opinion. Ooh, maybe Drybone. But again, there's a card like the Drybone Barbarian. It's the Orc Stone Splitter on the green team, and I love it. And the Orc Stone Splitter has way fewer hit points, but the retaliate and the enrage and the damage output is so ridiculous at times that it can be really, really fun. But from the overall sort of the highest caliber of, the best of the best from the White Life, definitely in my opinion, Imperial Knight, it just is the safest. It has the most sort of damage reduction happening. It has a good amount of damage output, and it's relatively affordable. I love the kit of this thing. And then the Evelyn Alvera. I don't love the weapons trainer partnership because we got Inspire over here, but I do love everything else about it. It's going to go so well with Grandmaster Wraith. It's got the self repair, it's got the thorns, it's got the immunity. Immunity is so important, and the Inspire. So I could see this being a tank in the first position with the Grandmaster Wraith, and then I'm going to bring a whole sneak team, and yeah, I could see that really working. And maybe I would put Imperial Knight in the first spot. And I'd go Evelyn in the second, and then sneak. So like the white team a lot. Definitely, I don't know. I'm starting to lose track of kind of first, second, third, fourth, who's best, worst, or whatever. But I still think my favorite partnership is the fire team with their weapons trainer and their no attack monster. And then there's my favorite solo is probably that water double striker. And then yeah, Earth had a good trio partnership, like a main tank with Terracious Hulk, secondary Ava, or maybe Thane in the second, and then Ava in the third. 1-2-3 punch, in my opinion. And then the Life, the noteworthy comments here are probably really, like I said, Evelyn, Drybone, Imperial Knight. So let's carry on. You know what? I'm going to wrap on that one. How long was that? Another 25 minutes. Guys, I'm going to stop it there. And I'll do Death, Dragon, Neutral in one separate video here. Okay, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope you have an amazing day. God bless.